All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, we are live in full effect with the one, the only, the legendary Dres from the iconic hip hop duo Black Sheep. How are you doing this evening?
Oh man, I'm feeling good, man. End of the year, we all are definitely ready for the brand new year and to leave this one way behind us. So I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling grateful to have gotten to the doorsteps of the new year.
I'm most definitely grateful for that as well. I first and foremost want to say my apologies to yourself and the listeners because I remember that this broadcast was supposed to be yesterday, but we had a terrible blackout here. I don't even know what was going on. Our power was at half mast, and no equipment was working at all. So it was just a crazy shit show on our end.
Yo, bro, take it from me, man. This year, I think we all kind of got used to rolling with the punches, man, and understand that things can just happen out of nowhere, you know. So I mean, it happens, you know. I'm glad God blessed us to be here today.
Hey, most definitely. And I know you're a very busy guy, you know, and I don't want to take you I don't want to take you away from your family for too long this evening. So I'm gonna hop right into this interview, but I want to take you back to the beginning, Dre's. Like, what actually made you decide to get into the music industry initially?
Well, I was a kid when hip hop was kind of young, so I was definitely like just excited by exactly what it was, and just how it spoke to my community and to my peers and to myself. You know what I'm saying? And like I really felt like I was like I felt like I saw my reflection inside of it. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like these were people that were speaking literally for me. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to participate. I come from a musical family, and I kind of like my mom always thought I was gonna wind up singing or something. Like 'cause I had won talent shows and things of that nature before hip hop even existed. And just as a kid, and it was just always an artistic kid, and like hip hop just really resonated with me. I was a writer as well. I always thought that I would wind up being a writer. Before I really got into hip hop, like I had aspirations to write. So writing rhymes and writing music was just so up my alley, and it was just I think the percussion of hip hop that kind of resonated. I think in just our generation alone, you know what I'm saying, that, like it was almost tribal, that, it just drew us in, and it allowed us to kind of share things that, like that we weren't really given the opportunity to share on such a platform, you know what I'm saying, and to be artistic at the same time, and, to be soulful, and, like, and to express, a wit of yourself, and show kind of showcase who you were without necessarily coming in a format of a 9 to 5 or of school, of of the things that were given to you. This was a whole different platform that you could kind of express yourself. So it really spoke to me from an early age in hip hop. I felt something, and even before cats knew that I had ability, I knew I had ability because I literally would just write rhymes before before I was even saying them to anyone. I would just be writing. So it was just a natural progression for me. I'm blessed that at this point I've been doing it longer than I haven't. And life has been pretty cool.
And also, as we already know, you are one half of the legendary hip hop duo Black Sheep. I was wondering, what's the story behind the formation of that group? Like, how did yourself and Mist actually get connected?
Me and Long, we actually met my senior year in high school. My parents separated and moved to a small town in North Carolina. We had relocated from New York to Carolina. And my senior year, we had a mutual friend. Me and Long had a mutual friend who had equipment at his crib, and he had turntables, mics, and tape decks, and what have you. And it was and the coolest mom. So every day, literally every day after school, we met there. We met there, and we were just cutting rhyming, making tapes. And mind you, this is in North Carolina, so it wasn't like there was a record company for us to try to shop. So this literally was kind of like the training grounds for us. So every every day of my senior year, me, Long, and a couple of other friends, every day we meet at my friend Stan's house, and we work on music. And if you do something every day for a year, you know, like you're definitely gonna kind of hone in on your skills. And the week I finished high school, I came back to New York, and it would be a couple of years later when Long finished high school and came to New York, literally to pursue music, that by happenstance I passed him on the streets of New York, and he had just gotten in. He was looking for a place to live. I had just gotten in an apartment, and you know, like he was my man from Carolina that I spent every day of my senior year seeing. You know, so I was like, you know, like, yo, you can crash with me because you get on your feet. And that was the beginning of it. You know, like from there, you know, I went on to learn that, you know, he had been coming up for the last few summers, and he had gotten cool with De La Soul, the Jungle Brothers. He introduces me to Tribe. This is while Tribe was working on their first album. They hadn't even dropped a project yet. And we all just started hanging out, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I was, you know, we were blessed to kind of literally be kind of indoctrinated into the native tongue, you know what I'm saying? And they became like family. And after Tribe released their first project, we were next up to that. You know, we put a demo together. We wound up getting a deal, and went to that, working on our own project, coming out of this collective, the Native Tongue. So it was kind of cool that we had the opportunity to find our own voice under this umbrella of such dynamic groups. You know, so and like I said, like, you know, every day for my senior year, me and my friend Long were together, literally cutting rhymes. So it was almost like we had trained together for an entire year before we even met these fellas. So we were well versed in our ability, and we, you know, we were given the opportunity, thank God, to pursue it, and the rest kind of was history. You know, like those were the beginning baby steps of Black Sheep, and even our name. You know, like when we decided to, you know, to name the group, it had everything to do with the native tongue. You know, like we're looking around the room, we're looking at Jungle, we're looking at Tribe, we're looking at De La, Latifah, Moni Love, and you know, I said along, like, yo, like, if anything, we're kind of like the black sheep of these guys. You know what I'm saying? Just how we looked, and you know, like, just kind of like, I guess our bravado, so to speak. You know, and that was it. You know, we're the black sheep of these guys. We're the black sheep. You know, and that was it. We never looked back.
And the one thing I've always wanted to know pertaining to Black Sheep, because one of my favorite records by you guys is actually A Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. Like, I gotta ask you, like, when you guys made that record, like, how does it feel to know that's one of the biggest hip hop records of all time? Because when you were making that, did you actually feel that, wow, this record's gonna blow up? Because I remember watching VH1's top greatest hip hop songs, and I remember The Choice Is Yours is actually, I believe it was like actually in like the top 50s.
Yeah, this is my word. Like, first of all, like you really don't have an idea of longevity. You know what I'm saying? When you're making something, you have no idea that 20 years down the road, you know, like that people would speak upon it and praise, you know, praise the effort. You know, so, but I can say this, that, you know, I remember, you know, when we were mixing The Choice Is Yours, I remember being in the studio and, you know, just playing it back after we had finished it. It was mixed and mastered, and just playing it really, really loud and looking along. And I remember saying to him, like, I don't know what we just did, but I know we just did something. And, you know, like, there was really no way to kind of forecast it, but it sounded so unique. It sounded like nothing I had ever heard, and it was ours. And, you know, so I knew we did something. And even with the album itself, you know, like, it was just this really, really cool thing to stand next to, you know, like we were both really proud of it, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, like, we definitely had the strong feeling that we had accomplished something, but I think we might have been just too close to it, and probably the time in music that it was, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we were one of the groups that were a bridge for the culture, you know what I'm saying? Like, we helped advance the culture, you know, like the money that's afforded to artists today wasn't afforded to artists when we were at our peak, you know what I'm saying? But I can say that without any doubt in my mind groups that's responsible for bringing the music into Middle America's house. You know, we're the first hip hop group to be on Tonight Show with Jay Leno. We, you know, like we been on, you know, from In Living Color to Arsenio, you know, like at a time when hip hop wasn't even played on the radio every day. You know what I'm saying? So this, you know, like we're one of the important bricks that are in this bridge that many artists have since trickled over. You know, so you know, like it's an important piece of history. Sometimes one that wasn't necessarily monetized, but at the same time priceless. You know, so you know, like it's been a really unique and exciting walk to see the music literally come into fruition from it just being something that was done in the Bronx to it becoming something that was done in the boroughs of New York to it becoming something that was done on the East Coast to something that was done in the United States to something that is now done globally. And you know, and to just see all of the multitude of careers that have spawned from hip hop music. You don't have to be an MC, a producer, a DJ, a dancer. You know, like there's so like you can have a show. You can be a photographer. You can you can be a manager. You can be so many different things. You know what I'm saying? You can own a venue. You know what I'm saying? Like that fall under the umbrella of this music, and it's created careers and and millionaires as well, you know, from something that literally, you know, started in a park in the Bronx, you know what I'm saying? And you know, like that's something to behold, you know what I'm saying, from its very beginning to the point where we are now, you know, and I hope some of the younger artists can appreciate when an older cat kind of wants them to know their history, wants them to have an understanding of why they're able to be the artists that they're able to be today. There was a lot of work behind it. There was a lot of sweat. There was a lot of effort that got put into it, and not always was it monetized. Not always was it a brand. Not always was it something that people ate from. You know, like people have literally sacrificed a lot for the artists of today to be who they are. And I think, you know, sometimes I think that's what an older artist wants a younger artist to kind of have an understanding of. And I also, you know, I see the generation gap, you know what I'm saying? And I speak to it, you know, like even with the new music that I have now. I have a new project that's coming out in 2021. I had the opportunity to meet Jay Dilla's mom. And Jay Dilla being one of the most premier producers in hip-hop history, who passed away at a young age due to a blood disorder. He passed, probably a good dozen years ago. But I met his mom and her husband, and they gave me the opportunity to go through Dilla's personal catalog to create a project. So I'm really proud to announce in 2021, I'm releasing a project that goes under the moniker D&D. D&D stands for Dilla and Dres. And I have an entire project that's produced by Jay Dilla, and it has features such as Bun B, Freeway, CeeLo Green, Chuck D, Alexander Simone, who's the grandson of Nina Simone, Source Money, Corey Guns, Afro, Lil B. Like, I have this amazing project that I'll be releasing in 2021 under the name D&D, and the name of the project is called No Words. So, and it reminds me very much of a wolf in sheep's clothing that I'm going to say, I know I've done something in the making of this project. I just don't quite know what it is yet. You know, so I really look forward to the people hearing it, and I want them to stay up with me. They can catch me at Dres Black Sheep on Twitter, on at Black Sheep Dres, on Twitter, and Black Sheep Dres on Twitter. I'm sorry, my bad, for me. At Black Sheep Dres on IG and Dres Black Sheep on Twitter. And please stay with me. And I also have a website if you want to check out some of the stuff that I've done over the years. Go to poolofgenius.com, poolofgenius.com. And I put out a bunch of solo projects as well as stuff like with Jerobi from Tribe and a few things that people might not be aware of that is really cool. Check out some of the videos. Definitely cop some of the merch as well. Get your Black Sheep fix on at Pool of Genius. And, like I've stayed really busy independently. So I look forward to people checking out this new project, catching up to some of the stuff that I've been doing. And I'm always very grateful of everyone that shows love to a Wolf in Sheep's Clothing and the early Black Sheep music. It's meant the world.
And one thing I gotta ask quickly, pertaining to the J Dilla project, is that the only new project that you currently have going for you, or is there any other projects that you currently have that you still want to promote? We still have you here live on the radio.
Well, besides this D&D project that's upcoming, there's also a podcast that's about to be launched at the top of the year. It's called the Native Tonguecast, and the hosts on it are going to be myself, Maceo, the DJ from De La Soul, and Moni Love. And it's a podcast that will be starting literally next week. So I want everybody to look out for that as well. And you'll be able to find that via Mace's Twitch channel, which is called The Dugout. And on The Dugout on Twitch, you'll be able to pick up the Native Tonguecast, which is going to be really unique and really cool, and talking about the makings of our groups, our relationships together, the music at the time, and even current events, and how we see them. I think it's important that the native tongue perspective be reintroduced to the people because it's a voice that's missing. There's a lot of voices out there right now, and I think some of the ones that speak to who we're supposed to be and what we could be, and even the sharper side of the knife. I would dare say, is there. And I hope that the latest podcast can bring some of that perspective back to the table and just offer some of the variety that our music is known for. It feels like the music has gotten a little stagnant, even though the business aspect has grown tremendously. It feels like the artistic aspect has diminished a bit. So, and I think one of the reasons for that is the lack of diversity that comes with everyone trying to follow a blueprint. Everyone's trying to, like when we were coming up, you got a lot of props because you didn't sound like anyone. But these days, you get props because you sound just like someone. But what that does is that it kind of stifles the creativity and the opportunity to be unique and to be different and to get accolades for it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping that the Native Tonguecast can be a missing voice in our music right now and can kind of offer some of the perspectives to the culture that the culture honestly needs today. So I look forward to doing that as well.
And I gotta say, that sounds like a phenomenal podcast as well. So everybody that is listening, make sure you stay up on that. Make sure you follow Dres on all social media platforms and be the first to hear his podcast when it goes live. I gotta say, Dres, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time this evening and coming on the radio station.
I got so much love for Canada. This is my word. Like our first project went gold in Canada, and I've had the opportunity to score extensively for Canada, and I've got so much love because you know what, Canada holds some of the most official hip hop heads in all of the world. So a big shout to every hip hop head in Canada and everybody that's just listening. You know what I'm saying? Like I hope you do stay in touch. I'm very approachable. Like I said, Black Sheep Dres on IG, Dres Black Sheep on Twitter, and stay tuned for the new D&D. Stay tuned for the Native Tonguecast, and keep rocking with the sheep. That's what's up.
Hey, most definitely. I gotta say, Dres, thank you so much for years of amazing hip-hop, man. Your music most definitely made a positive impact on my life and millions upon millions worldwide. So thank you for years of amazing music, and I'm looking forward to years of amazing more music as well.
I appreciate that, family. Word up. Thanks for having me, man, and Happy New Year, man.
You as well. Happy New Year, Dres. Thank you so much.
It's been a rough one for all of us, right? I'm so glad that we get to kind of put it in our back pocket, man, and just move forward. Let's all be strong, y'all. Let's keep doing what we got to do to get through this situation, and let's get ready for better days.
Most definitely. We can finally say we survived 2020.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Yo, thanks a lot, my dude. I appreciate you sincerely, and everybody have a happy weekend.
You as well, Dres. Thank you so much.
All right, peace, champ.